have you guys explored the city, or are we inside the room and are we ordering comfort food?
Yeah, it's more of a comfort food so far. Giving out one.
Things don't change.
Because when I was reading, I could see your relationship sort of transform as well through the book.
The idea was to, like two individuals starting off together and then, like the growth.
How important is it for, a cricketer to have the family with him?
I would say that families should be traveling. WTC final in 2021. That was probably the toughest time.
All right, it's nice to see familiar faces first of all. I've known these two for a very long time, but of course the world is sort of knowing them in a new light. I have Puja Pabari and Cheteshwar Pujara with me. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining in. It's a special chat that we're having. First of all, welcome to Delhi.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having us.
And not to give away too many spoilers from the book, of course, which is what is a central point of this chat anyway. The Diary of a Cricketer's Wife. And congratulations on being an author, Puja. But not to give away spoilers from here, have you guys explored the city, or are we inside the room and are we ordering comfort food?
Yeah, it's more of a comfort food so far. Giving out one.
Things
but
don't
yeah.
change.
Yeah.
Things don't
I'm
change.
trying my best. But we have been busy.
Yes, you have been busy. This is part of that as well. But how was the experience? And I want to ask both of you this. How was the experience of this book? How sort of revealing, tough, or challenging it was to get this more than, experiencing all that you have had?
You want me to go? Okay,
Yeah.
fine. So when Puja first started writing, we had this chat that I wouldn't interfere in her writing. I wouldn't say anything about what she wants to write. And I also told her that there are certain things which I know that I won't like to reveal, but because it's part of the book. I won't have any interference, so you can be rest assured. Whatever
Yeah.
you want to write, you
Yeah.
can go ahead and write about it. And I'll only start reading once you are almost done with the book. So I started reading the book when she was 80% done with the book. That's when I first read the book. So till then, there was no suggestions, no interference, nothing at all. Yeah.
How did it go, Puja? Was it?
It was very seamless because, like he mentioned, he really did not. He made it a point not to interfere, and I told him I need that liberty because then only I'll be able to actually tell the story, and even some of the anecdotes that have been written in the book. The purpose is not to write the anecdote for any other intention, but the only reason to write that anecdote is to understand the reaction and the person he is. I wanted to show the emotion behind the person, like a cricketer is. So that was the sole purpose. And luckily enough, I convinced him, and it was pretty seamless.
That's surprising because I've read the book and it was quite a breezy read and it was gripping and I cried at a couple of places, by the way. I got emotional and it sort of got to me. Did that happen with you when you sort of read it, and did you go back there and?
Yeah, it did. It did. Honestly, there were some very emotional moments from my childhood days. Even the way she has mentioned things about my mom. I mean, at that time she wasn't part of my life, but she managed to gather all the information from my dad, from my uncle, uh, and the way she has described things, it was very emotional for me. Even the way she has described things about my couple of ACL injuries. Those were tough times in my cricketing journey, and when I read the book, I was very emotional about it. And even the courtship part, that is very interesting,
Or
and
funny.
and it's not funny. I think that's the reason I can read that book again and again, because if I
Oh,
have to
wow.
revisit those days, those were very interesting days in our life.
Yeah, because when I was reading, I could see your relationship sort of transform as well through the book. Was that also a part of?
Yes, most definitely, yes. The idea was to, like two individuals starting off together and then, like the growth, there's a learning curve in every relationship, be it a spouse or a child or a parent. So the idea was not just to, like describe, but also show the learning curve that both of us went through together. despite him having a very demanding career.
I was very impressed when I first read the book because she wasn't confident, but I was always confident. She started journaling since 2013. And she has been taking notes. I know because she has been taking notes while I was playing matches. So when I used to come back, she used to write a little bit. Then in 2021, that was the first time when I told her, "Why don't you give it a try?" And she wasn't very confident, but she gave it a try, and then she will tell the story what happened
Yeah,
next. But
why
yeah,
were you not confident?
See, I did not have any experience in writing, first of all. Neither did I have any background, like education or otherwise. I used to do it for myself, and for me, the purpose was someday I'll show it to my child. Like, the intention was never when I would hear stories from his dad about his mum. And I used to keep journaling things, even when we had recently got married, and I would just keep journaling things because I found it very interesting. I found it very inspiring. So my idea was to I'll just make notes and keep, and I wouldn't like. I would have not even thought of compiling it into a book. But in 2021, when he proposed the idea, I had enough material to kind of like, yeah, why don't I give it a try? And he's like, you should try and channelize. You are good at writing, so just channelize your thoughts, and we'll take it from there. Don't worry. If nothing else, you can just show it to Aditi and be happy about it. And I was like, fair enough, why not? So I gave it a try, and then I just showed it to a couple of friends. They kind of were very impressed, and then we just went to the publishers, and they were like, yeah, it's a very, very interesting and very uncharted thing, like nobody's done it.
Yes.
So they were
Yes.
very happy, and they got on board, and that's how the journey began.
You know, there are a lot of things about you here in this book, Chiteshwar, that I don't think, I mean, if many of the people, I mean, only your closest
yeah,
family and friends would know
yeah,
about you.
yeah.
Was that tough to sort of let go of and say, "Okay, let the world also know"?
Yeah, it was tough. Yeah, I am someone who doesn't like to reveal things to the public.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of an introvert, so it was challenging for me to allow Pooja to write whatever she wanted. But yeah, I had to be in agreement. See, once she started writing, as I said earlier, I gave her the freedom. I told her that if you are telling the story, if you are talking about the journey, people should know how the journey has been. We can't filter it. We can't put out certain things and try and remove certain things. So that's not practically possible. And then you are not telling the truth to everyone. So it was challenging, but at the same time, she told that people can get a lot of inspiration out of this journey. There can be a learning curve for a lot of young people, young players, and so many people, not just cricketers, but even if you look at most of the parts in the book, people can relate to it
Yeah.
because even in for a common man in India, they find a lot of challenges in their day-to-day life, and how to overcome those challenges, how to tackle difficult situations. People can get some inspiration out of this. So I told her that yeah, I'm happy with whatever you want to write, and we have to tell the right story.
But I have to ask, how difficult, I mean, how difficult is it living this life? I mean, it's like you just said, it's not as glamorous
Yeah,
as it, seems. And,
100%.
it's not about those Instagram pictures and touring. And
100%.
what was your biggest realization in this journey as Cheteshwar's wife?
See, my biggest realization, I always tell this, is that, you have to understand that when you're a sports person's spouse, the career is very demanding. Also, it's a short lived career if you don't make good use of it. You can only get that additional window if you are really, really dedicated and committed to your job. Otherwise, you could have like 2 good years and maybe then, vanish. Um, to sustain that international career of 12 to 14 years with him, right? We have done it together, and to sustain that, I knew that at that point in time, if we did not prioritize that, I may not be able to succeed in my career as much as I would like, and even he would kind of not get the enough push or enough comfort to thrive. So it was a conscious decision taken by me to let him have his, because it is, you have to understand, it's an, there's an age to it. And the kind of work I did, there's no age to it. You can begin at, like, so many people, like, most of, like the global giants have started their careers at 40, 45. And I did not want to, what he already had and the sacrifices his parents had already put, I did not want to let that go, because they had come a long way for not, to not give him that additional push so that he can sustain at the international level.
But Cheteshwar, I also get this feeling after reading this. Were you also trying to balance your own emotions of what was happening professionally for you, and also sort of seeing how she would react to it, the highs, the lows? How was that?
So most of the time, I will try and protect her. I wouldn't, as Pooja has mentioned in the book, I won't try and tell a lot of things, professional things to her. What has happened on the field? What was the dressing room chat? What was going on in my mind when I was playing a certain series or a particular test match? I won't try and talk about it with her, because I didn't want her to worry about my professional career. I wanted to keep my professional and personal life separate. But at the same time, you do end up discussing about the game. But most of the important stuff she used to get to know from other players, the player's wife, or even she has mentioned in the book that when I was dropped from the playing 11 in Australia, she got to know from Ashwin's wife. I think
No,
Preeti told
no.
someone else. Yeah,
Someone else.
someone else. Okay, yeah, someone did tell her. So
Yeah,
anyways, yeah,
yeah.
so I
That's
wasn't the
kept
one.
well hidden in the book also.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't the one, anyways. So yeah, I always tried balancing the professional and the personal life, but at the same time, I thought that if I would have told her a few more things, she would have been mentally a bit more relieved, rather than protecting her. If I would have told her a few more things, she might have. It's not. It may not be the likable part of the game, but she still mentally would be little more relieved that at least it came from me rather than someone else.
no, but the way I see you reacting through so many moments which went against the grain or went against you, you seem absolutely unperturbed. Is that how you are? Is that how he is otherwise
So
as
it's a
well?
very conscious choice that he has had since the very beginning. And he, so we always have this argument or whatever is like, why don't you show your emotions? And he would be like, I don't want anybody to know that I'm affected by it. And I was like, why does that have to be such a big priority? So what if people know? They may take advantage, or they may feel otherwise about it, or they may feel I'm weak. So I'm like, so there's so much. It was a conscious decision he has taken since he was a child, and maybe it worked for him. See, it's very different for everyone, um, and it has to be handled in the way you think possible, which is the best possible option for you. So I never kind of pushed him into, like, no, you should. But then I also realized that it can also be a coping mechanism for some people, and maybe for him it was. So we never really kind of got into it. And even now, like, see, we're two different individuals. We would just like to be as we are, and then still, have a common ground, rather than trying to change something about one another.
But I want to ask, how crucial is it? It's a team sport.
Yeah.
But I've played sports
Mm.
professionally at some level. We've all seen sports
Yeah.
persons up close.
Yeah.
It's lonely.
Right.
It's not, you play together, but there is a sense of mental challenge also. Would you attest to that? Satyajit?
Yeah, I would definitely agree to that, because when you are winning, everyone is together. But there are times where in a team sport, when you start losing, things starts to fall apart. I wouldn't say that there are issues within the dressing room, but still, when you start to lose a game and when you go back to your room, because everyone at the end of the day's play, you go back to your room and everyone is disappointed because the team has lost the game. So after that, that lonely time in the room where you are disappointed, you can't share that with your teammate, because even he is disappointed, and even the support staff or the coaching staff, they are also disappointed with a if it's a test match or any format of the game. When you lose a game, everyone is disappointed, and when you lose a series, it's even more disappointing, because when you are aiming for a victory, especially in an important game, games like when you are playing a WTC finals, and if you end up on the losing side, everyone is so disappointed. You can't even talk about it, although everyone is on the same page, because everyone is disappointed, everyone wants to win, but you can't speak much about it. Then there is media pressure. Media is talking that Indian team didn't win. Everyone was trying their best, but you are on the losing side. So there are a lot of emotions which goes through when you are in your room, and that's the time where the biggest challenge is, because you can't talk about it to anyone within the team. But even with your family, you don't want to put them under any pressure, so you don't want to say a lot of things which may harm them, and just to protect them, you don't end up talking about it. So it can become tough, but at the same time, see, if you are a professional cricketer, you need to learn to deal with such moments. How do you bounce back from a difficult situation? And that is something, that's where we were when I was talking about, I am little indifferent about what happens on the field, because that is something which is the outcome. You can't control the outcome in a sport. You try your best, because the best time to focus is before a game starts. How you prepare before a game, that is the most important time. Now when you are playing a game, that is of what you have prepared before the game. So now if the outcome is not positive, there is nothing you can do about it. That is in the past. Now you have to move on, you have to move forward as a professional cricketer, and then try and focus on the future. So that's why there are times where I'm very indifferent about what has happened, whether we have won a series, whether we have lost a series. I'm very neutral about it, because you always move on. There are times where she tells me that I don't even celebrate,
Yeah.
even if it's
It's a
a
victory.
victory.
Yeah.
I don't celebrate much, but that's how I am. I mean,
But Cheteshwar, nothing wrong. Nothing
yeah, there
wrong
is nothing wrong. There is
in
nothing wrong in celebrating, or there is nothing wrong in even getting disappointed, because I
yeah.
am disappointed, but I
Yeah.
don't show it, because I just try and control those emotions and try and use it to channelize my disappointment into a better way, where next day I am there for training, I'm there for my practice sessions, and I'm just motivating myself to do better in the next test match or a next series.
Has there been a moment now when you look back, because it's all chronicled? Is there a moment when you look back you think that, okay, maybe I could have done this? Why didn't I go out and sort of let my hair down this one time? The farewell party, Sachin. Why? Maybe I should have just. Does that thought come to your mind? Maybe I could have, cherished that moment.
Yeah, it does come into my mind. I wouldn't deny it, but there were some important decisions which were taken at that time, considering my auntie's health,
Yeah.
where I wanted to be with her. So there are pros and cons of every decision you make, and you can't have it both ways.
Yes.
So I was disappointed. If I look back, if I mean, I had to find a way where if I wasn't sure whether if I had attended the party, whether I
Yeah.
would be allowed to leave in half an hour or an hour's time, because it
Yeah.
was such a big moment and everyone
And it's
wanted
rare
to.
to see Cheteshwar having a good time.
Yeah, and I wasn't in the mood to celebrate, because my auntie wasn't well. We knew that she's not going to live
Yeah.
for a long time. She was going through a tough disease. So I mean, personally wanted to be there with her, and there were very limited days which I had between the last test match with Sachin Paji played, and then there was a next series
Yeah.
going on. So there was very limited time, and I can't say that I regret that decision, but at the same time, if I can be at the both places, then that
Nothing
was a
like.
perfect moment. Yeah.
But how important is it for, a cricketer to have the family with him, in this case, you? Because there are a lot of times when I think they just sort of, their presence makes a difference, doesn't it? I mean, I want both of you to sort of reflect on this. How key is that relationship, especially in the sport?
For me, I feel every time, especially in the lows, I would want to be present with him in the lows. The highs is okay. The highs is fine, the highs is all right. But in his lows, I just want to be around. Because I do not know, like on most occasions, he would want to be quiet. But that one odd occasion, if he needs a place to vent, or if he needs a place to, kind of just speak his thoughts out loud to kind of get back to normalcy, I would want to be there for him. Because while, when they are celebrated, all of us also are celebrated. We have to also understand, there are perks to it. So you have to kind of also understand that when there are lows, that is when I definitely want to be around. And I try to be around, but you do not know, you can't predict these things. So at times we are also on just over the phone, we are just trying to kind of comfort each other.
No, I would say that families should be traveling. They should be with the players. The window. I mean, there are times where if the families are there throughout the series, uh, you as a player, professionally you want to be attending your practice sessions. So there has to be a window. Normally, what most of the teams do is they have a window of 2 or 3 weeks in a long tour. So if you are going away from home for 40 days, there are 3 weeks where families can travel. So that's the best way to balance it out, because there are times where coaching staff or the management feels that if the families are traveling, then players are not focused enough, uh, which may not be the case. But just to balance it out, I think if you have a proper window where families can travel, and at the same time, if you are going there early for preparation, then players are just focusing on the preparation part, and then when the series starts, you have a three weeks window where families can travel.
Which moment, I think, in your career so far, which moment really sort of hurt you the most? If you look back at the journey, which is that one moment that was the most emotional, um, where both of you had to sort of, what was most challenging to overcome?
For for me, it was WTC final in 2021. That was probably the toughest time, because there were so many things which were said after the finals. Also, uh, I personally, because I don't play the white ball format, for me it was like a World Cup, and yes, it it was a World Cup final for test format. So I desperately wanted to contribute, and I wanted the Indian team to win that game. But unfortunately, yeah, we were on the losing side, and there were a lot of things which were said in the public where there were things which were said that I was the reason, which wasn't the case. When you are playing a team sport, it is always about the team. So you win as a team, you lose as a team. But yeah, both the times, even not just 2021, but even 2023 WTC finals, because when you get that opportunity, you are when you are playing just one format, that WTC finals is the most important moment in a test player's career. And when you end up on the losing side, you feel really bad about it, and to overcome that takes a lot of time.
Yeah. I think for me it was 2023. 2021, um, I kind of had a thing because New Zealand had played a couple of test matches. These guys were in quarantine. They were just coming.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was
So,
time for the COVID.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was very, yeah, it was COVID times. The IPL had stopped, and then they had to go home, and lots of quarantine. But I think 2023 hit me really hard, and um, I was kind of just, I was like, just call it quits. And I was like, I'm just done. I can't do this every day with you, because while you are still playing and, while you are still doing it, I'm riding the same emotions, without doing anything. And for me, it's just enough is enough. And he was like, I understand your disappointment because I felt the same in 2021. But at the same time, I have moved on from that place. And I enjoy the sport for what it is, and not, where I'm representing. If it's country, nothing like it. If it is a county, nothing like it. If it is a state match, nothing like. For me, all the, like, cricket is what I love, and that's why I started playing the sport. And I want to, as much as I can, I want to play the sport till I can. And like physically, you can. I want to play the sport. I want to enjoy it and not attach the result or the selection or something that is not in my control per se to the love for the sport. So I want that time, till I can, let me enjoy. And it took me a while to make peace with it. It was not that all that easy, like for him, because he had kind of moved on. He was on a different learning curve, and he had moved on from there. But for me, it kind of took me a while to make peace. And I was like, you it's easy for you to say these things because you may be in a different headspace, but I am not yet there, and I need to be there. So it was kind of challenging. But then you don't have a choice. You just have to kind of wake up every day as a new day, and you have to treat it as one.
Right now also, if you look at the Indian setup currently, there is a huge transition phase. You know, and usually what is good is that you have someone, at least a few seniors, to sort of ride that through. Is there a thought in your head somewhere, Cheteshwar, that you could be perfect for that sort of transition phase, or you're not even thinking and you're like, oh, I'm
Yeah, but I see. All I would say is that if I'm needed, I'm ready. Whether will I get selected, I don't know. Will I get an opportunity? I don't know. Do I practice just because of that? I don't think so. I just enjoy the game, and I'm always trying my best, whatever level I'm playing. So. The good part about my cricketing journey is that each and every match is important. Whether I'm playing a district game, whether I'm playing a club game for Indian Oil, whether I'm playing a state game for Saurashtra, or whether I'm playing a county cricket, or if I'm playing an international game. So every level I play, I try and make sure that I'm giving my best. I'm ready, and my preparation doesn't change at all. So that's why I feel that whenever I get an opportunity, I'm ready. If
Every
Are
day he
you
goes
ready?
to a net session. And I am like, why? What is coming up? And he's like, because I want to go and prepare. And I am like, you do you. I do not want to, step on your toes and, like force you into anything because you have given so much of it. And at the fag end of it, I want you to, do what gives you the peace. Because that, your future, you shouldn't have any sort of resentment that, I could have and I did not. So, so every day he goes to a net session.
Yeah,
And
and
I
you have to
also-
be prepared. Look, if you are a professional cricketer, for example, if I get an opportunity to play at the highest level or any level,
Yeah.
if you are not prepared, then you are not doing justice to your game. So you need to be prepared for
And
whatever
justice
comes.
for the call up.
Yeah,
And-
for the call up.
yeah.
Yeah. So if you are not prepared, then there's no point playing this game, because you can't just be sleeping at home and then say that, oh, I wasn't prepared.
Yeah.
I'm prepared any day. So that's how one has to practice. One has to prepare, and if you get an opportunity to play at the highest level, that's the dream of any player. I mean, I've done it for so many years. So if I get another opportunity, I know that I can contribute to the team's success.
But has Pooja come to any net sessions and stuff? Are you around there?
Yeah,
no?
many times.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I'm going there for recording. Sometimes I'm just going there to accompany. Sometimes during COVID, I used to go to gather balls because that time there's like
Yeah.
there's-
Yeah.
we didn't have people, so I would just tag along and we just and we take our child also because then she can run around in the open. Yeah.
Oh yeah. But I want to ask, who's the one who's changed the other more? Not changed. I mean, it's not in a negative
Yeah, yeah,
way.
yeah.
But who's impacted or influenced the other more in your journey
I
so
think
far?
it's Pooja.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I would also say it's me.
Yeah, no? How?
So we complement each other. isn't
No,
it?
no.
So
Hey,
that
Teshwar,
is the
now
right
this is
balance.
not
No,
the
no.
time for being
Yeah,
a little.
Okay. So one is the way I used to dress up when we got
No.
engaged. From that time,
And take
like,
1 hour to decide what to wear and shop.
So
Yeah.
she-
Correct.
she-
Now
she
he
is the
doesn't
one-
go only.
Yeah,
He
she does
doesn't
all
even
the
waste
shopping
that
for
1
me.
hour.
Oh.
He's
Yeah.
like, you just go pick whatever you think is right.
Easy way out, Chitesh.
Yeah.
No, come on.
It is. I don't mind it. I don't mind because I was very casual. I used to just wear a jeans and a tee. That's it. And I never used to like formal wears and all. But yeah, she's the one who.
No, but honestly, is like I don't know if if I should say this, but is very like unilateral focus on one thing, right? So after this things is just like open up to a lot of things, even for the cricket. How to kind of just look at it in a different way. Just so yeah.
Also, she's the one who taught me to take breaks.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, yeah,
I in between games, I wanted to switch off, but at the same time, for me, switching off was just to go out for a movie or go out for a meal. But I never used to. We never used to take holidays. And once we started doing that, I saw a major difference because when you unwind, when you switch off from the game for say 3 to 4 days or 5 days or a week's time, when there is a big break in between, you come back fresh. When you are starting again, you have a different energy because you want to play that game again. There's a different energy to it. So it is important to take breaks, and she's the one who taught me how to do it.
Pooja, what have you sort of taken from
So many
Cheteshwar?
things. So many things. Like my mom. I was a night owl. He's made me a
Yeah.
morning person.
That's the toughest transition to make.
Yeah.
It's like your whole
Yeah.
time circle and your time clock body.
And
clock change.
even like healthy food and like even I'm like I wish I was 25 again and not worried about what I'm eating. I want to go back, but I cannot.
Yeah.
It's all because of him. So many things like
Also the training part.
all the
Yeah,
training
I
part.
encourage her to
she likes to
train.
work out, and she
Yeah,
said she
yeah.
started doing that after she
Yeah.
became
I
into her
didn't
life.
know what workout was before I met him, and
I worked out with you, Pooja.
Yeah, and
We
I
worked out
enjoy
together,
it.
yeah.
I enjoy it. Like for me, I look forward to that workout. So a lot of things. Yeah.
And who does Aditi sort of um,
After,
take
Inspiration.
after? Yeah.
so the mannerisms are completely him, but she aspires to be like me. Like for her, the goal is if somebody tells you are like your dad. No, I want to be like my mama. I'm like, good job.
And I'm proud about it.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
there was this one anecdote that Pooja has told me about how I think when someone at school asked Aditi, "What do your parents do?" and she said, "Yeah, my mom works, but dad only plays."
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, that's just so. It's nice to sort of bring her up also with like no expectations of what her father has achieved or what's. Is that also a conscious sort of a?
It is a very, very conscious decision. We try to keep it that way even now. She's 7 years old. It's not like she does not understand things. Even now, she'll be like, somebody's asking for your signature, Dada. So for him, so I was like, okay, oh, he'll sign and give. So we just keep it very normal. Like, okay, they want the signature, we'll give. So it's not like that autograph thing is not yet come into. And it's a very conscious decision we go for like every time Cheteshwar is home and she has a demand that, okay, Dada, you come to drop me, or both of you. We do school drop-offs, we do tennis pick up and drop. So just try to be as normal and as, involved in our child's day-to-day life, and not force her anything that she does not feel comfortable with. So she doesn't really understand, okay, at what stage her father has represented, what he's done. She doesn't really know all that, and we feel it's okay. When the time is right, she'll know. And even if she does not, that's okay, because it's in the past.
Yeah, and she'll read the book.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also before a couple of years, she even didn't know why people wanted to take a picture with me.
Yeah, she's like, why are these
Yeah.
people? Why they want to take picture with
Dada's
you?
wearing only t-shirt and jeans as it is.
Yeah. So it is a very conscious decision that, and we keep it simple at home, because she's seen both of us doing chores. She sees both of us kind of being really involved in her life as well as each other's. So we have kept a conscious decision that at home we are going to be as grounded, and because we want to teach her the right things, and that's how tomorrow you can prepare a child for being confident.
Do you sort of consciously then also, when you're like when you were traveling, for example, if she was a kid, yes, but consciously when something's not gone right or something's gone little different, not planned, do you consciously keep that part away from her? And when you're sort of conversing, you consciously not do that in front of her? Was that also some part of the?
It has been. I mean, many times there are certain things which you can't discuss in front of a kid. So we just want her to have a good time, but at the same time, you need to teach her the right things. So when we are traveling, that was the best time to teach her new things, for her to learn different cultures. When we are traveling to UK or even within India, you move from one state to another, and there are a lot of things to learn. So she has learned a lot while traveling, but at the same time, you also need to teach a kid how to behave at certain places. Not, I mean, she can be herself whenever she's in the room, or
No, she
but-
can be herself anywhere, but
Yeah.
just that you are allowed to feel everything, but you're not allowed to
Act on it.
act on it. Yeah. So and it is very normal to you have they say every child, like you can feel it, but you still have to behave. You know. So
and not to
keeping with
trouble
the-
anyone.
Yeah. So it
Just to, yeah, it shouldn't be troubling anyone, and as long as she's having a good time, and when you are having a good time as a kid, everyone loves it. So even when we are traveling, whether it's the team environment or even in an aircraft, a stranger would always love to play with a kid. So if you are behaving in a good way, then people
and
love
it's not
yeah.
good bad per se.
Yeah,
It's just that somewhere you're not becoming a trouble for someone
Yeah.
else. Like good behavior does not necessarily mean you don't be yourself, but it's just that you could not be a troublemaker for others. And coming to the disappointments, we try and make sure we have any important conversation, which is hard once she's asleep. we don't try and
Yeah.
bring it in front of, try and talk it in front of her, because what happens is if he's had a bad day and he's come
Because the
back,
expression and mood.
not just the expression, but it also gives us time to kind of, gather your thoughts properly, compose yourself before having just like, that fire. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Sometimes, even if it's an argument between the two of us, and if you think about it for 10-15 minutes, automatically half of the, the
The
temperatures come
seriousness
down.
of it.
The
Yeah.
seriousness of it, even the intensity.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we try and do it once she's asleep, and then we can just have a peaceful conversation, and it's more fruitful rather than just having we talk in front of her or we arguing in front of her, and then it's incomplete because the child does not like seeing two screaming parents or two, even
Yeah, it affects them.
yeah, and that does not mean that we do not have healthy discussions in front of her. Like, you don't just want to show your child that okay, everything is perfect all the
That's
time.
also not. Yeah.
So you, even to have like difficult conversations, if it is needed and it's urgent, we don't mind having it in front of her also, but it has to be done in a way wherein it does not impact your child's growth.
Yeah.
Uh,
You want to?
Also, I mean, if I have a disappointing day on the field, when I come back, it never reflects. But Aditi doesn't know whether I had a good day or a bad day, because when I'm back home in the evening or back to the room, when I'm playing with her, it's just
Yeah. It's just that moment.
it's
yeah,
that
that
instant
moment.
switch off. You
Yeah.
don't need to work towards
Yeah,
it.
yeah. So she won't know that whether I had a good day or a bad day, because when I'm playing with her, I'm just playing with her, and she enjoys that time.
Which is that, you've mentioned a lot of obviously highlights, the Australia series. I mean, no one can miss these key moments in your life, Cheteshwar. How amazing was that for you, Pooja, to be a part of that? And what did that moment sort of give you?
Yeah.
And does that sort of take away from all the anxiety and the grief also?
Yeah, I was not present at both the times.
Yeah.
With him.
Yeah.
Is just long distance thing, but it gave, and let's see, that's what I say, that if we had to do it all over again, I wouldn't mind, on this ride, because while you get the lows and while you have your moments of anxiousness, there are also these highs and the love that you receive from everyone. You can't take these things for granted, saying that, oh, okay, because he did well. No, it is a
Yeah.
big thing, and you kind of have to have the gratitude, that only a chosen few get to feel this way.
Yes.
And it's a big thing, and I wouldn't take it lightly on any single day. But his demeanor through it all was very like, and I was like, let's celebrate. And he would be like, yeah, no, I'll just go do my thing. And I was like, no. And he, in fact, after 2018, he's like, okay, I'll have to go to Kanpur, I think, for the quarterfinal. Ranji, these guys
Yeah.
have qualified. And I'm like, what about my holiday? I've been away for 2 months thinking I'll get a holiday after this important series. But that's how he is. And I just felt that it's fine. You should be at peace first,
Yeah.
because you can have these moments later also. And we ended up doing our 3-day whatever.
Yeah.
And at that point in time, that also I felt like, yeah, good job, Oni.
Yeah, 3 days is a big deal for
Yeah,
Cheteshwar,
yeah,
no?
yeah.
Take that mind off
Yeah,
from
yeah.
from his
From
usual.
So I was like,
Yeah.
thank you.
No training, no practice for 3
Nothing.
days, or it's a
Yeah,
big
yeah,
task.
But was that a big change to know that okay, his first love is the sport, and then I come in?
He kind of had
Indicated.
he kind of had informed me. Also, the thing is, when you talk about his first love is cricket, see, he's not disrespecting me. He's not going chilling with people.
course.
He's just trying to prioritize something that deserves attention. And as a family, we kind of had prioritized it together. It was not just his thing. Like, he would have given me options that, do you want to or not? And I would say, no, you go do this thing.
Yeah.
So it is a very conscious decision, like like his dad, me, all of us were involved, and we would tell, okay, no, you prioritize this, and the other things we'll do it. But then when he's home, he's completely home. So I'm like, yeah, he's like, you tell me what you need me to do. You want me to clean, I'll clean. You want to go out for a movie, I'll come with you. You want to go for, so it's okay.
Yeah, and that's changed that you also. I think she sort of brought that to you also a little bit. That thoda sa,
Yeah.
take your mind off the game also once in a while.
And I did realize, and I did understand, this has been I think this is 6-7 years back, or even 8 years back. That's when we together we decided that it is important to switch off. It is important to divert your mind somewhere else. And also, even on my practice days, see, when you are practicing, it's like you do an hour and a half for your fitness or whatever, whether you are doing a gym session or a running session. Apart from that, you go to the ground for 3 or 4 hours, but you still have enough time during the practice days. So we still used to go out uh, for a meal, or we'll try and meet our relatives, we try and meet our friends. So even on a practice day, when I go to the ground, I'm completely focused there, but once I'm back home, then I'm completely switching off from my practice sessions or cricket.
And I also see, obviously, after reading the book, there are a lot of things that you said you wouldn't do and you're doing.
Yeah.
One of them is commentary.
Yeah.
So do you credit Puja for that?
I do. Yeah. Without any doubt,
Oh
because
my
I was the
goodness.
one
Yeah.
who had a lot of aspirations of becoming a business person. I thought,
No, and he was completely, he's like, I won't do
Yeah.
it. And I was
Yeah.
like, like you have achieved so much.
You have the
You know,
knowledge.
You have the knowledge, you are an expert. And I was like, why? You give it a try. You don't want to, if you don't feel good about it, don't do it. But how can you be so adamant in the sense that I won't even give it a try? And we had a
Valid.
proper, like a proper heated argument about it. And and that point in time, I was just like, let it be. But we are going to come back to it, after a few days. And I'm going to sit you down, and you will have to at least put in an effort to keep an open mind.
Yeah.
After that, you don't want to do it, is your choice. But you will have to give me that window that I made an effort. And so then then he agreed, and he's done it, and he's liking it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're good at it. I've
Yeah.
watched it, so you're good at it.
Thank you.
So-
No, but I've started enjoying media work, and I never thought that I'll start enjoying
Yeah.
it. Initially, I had that notion that once I'm away from the game, I just want to be
I
completely
just
away
did a
from.
very funny thing. You completely.
Yeah. So my notion was that once I finish the game, or once I don't want to be involved in the game, I'll just completely switch off from the game. I don't want to get into coaching or
Yeah.
media work. That was the thought process. But after doing some media work, things have changed, and I've started enjoying it. So we'll see how it goes.
I'll tell you the funny
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. So what happens is he was doing the BGT commentary, right?
Correct.
So one of the days so I was like, did you have lunch? Because is covering from early morning. So I was like,
Yeah.
did you have lunch? He's like, yeah, I had it at the ground. I was like, what ground? So he's like, this only now is my ground.
I know, right?
It was hilarious.
Oh,
And for me, I was like, what ground? You're not at the ground, you're at the studio. So it's like that only, same.
But is it weird? I want to ask you, was it weird sort of watching the Indian team and not
Play
sort of
and then
being in the.
commentating
Yeah.
from the studio? Yeah, it was weird, and it was weird in a way where you feel like, oh, I mean, I was there, I
Right
was
there,
playing, and
yeah.
now I'm just commentating on the same guys. And there were a lot of comments during that time that I should have been there. People used to tell me, so there was a little bit of disappointment at the same time, because when people say that you should have been there, and I feel for the guys, because when you are on a losing side, when Indian team loses, uh, players are under a lot of pressure, and it's not a great feeling to have. And I feel for the players, because when you are commentating from the studio, it's easy to talk about a lot of stuffs, that a player should do this, a player can bat this way. And I don't deny, when you are not playing well, there are a lot of technical aspects which one can work on. But it is not easy. Players are trying their best, and it's not easy. So yeah, when I'm commentating from the media box, I try and ensure that players do get their, like, whatever I'm
There's
saying,
certain amount of empathy. I think.
empathy. Yeah.
So that's what you consciously try to bring
Yeah.
in your.
Yeah.
But I know Cheteshwar's answer, of course. So I want to ask you: do you miss the rush and the anxiety and the happiness and the thing at this point? I mean, of
Yeah.
course, there's always the
Yeah, yeah,
possibility of
yeah.
it coming again, and life
Yeah.
goes a circle. But
Yeah.
do you miss it?
Frankly, it'll be like a very disappointing. I like the calm sometimes. I like the calm.
Yeah.
I'm happy with the normal this thing.
The mundane.
Yeah, but I miss it some days. Most definitely, yes. Especially when I feel like, oh, Cheteshwar could have made a difference. And see, again, it's very uncertain. It's easy to sit and talk like he could have made a difference. Only when you are there, you actually can make a difference or no. But some days I do miss, especially like BGT and all. I really, I was missing that because I know the kind of passion he had, and also like just the psychological advantage that one has, after doing well in winning 2 series there. I did feel, but I also enjoy the calm.
Cheteshwar, it's true, right? Sometimes
Yeah.
it's nice to be there, but then you want to get back there as well, of course.
Yeah, as long as you are playing, you always wish that. But one, as a person, one also has to understand there will be a time where you will have to retire and hang up your boots. So you can't carry on playing, I mean, till you live. So, yeah, you need to find that right balance. But yes, as long as I'm playing, you always miss playing at the highest level. And that is what you have worked for throughout your life. As a child, when I started this game, even when I was playing for Saurashtra in the under 14 age group, that's the time when I decided, yes, I want to play for the country. And that is always a goal. So even if you have played, say, around more than 100 test matches, you still want to play for the country.
Yeah, and just some last thoughts before we sort of wind up. Has this book sort of done something new and sort of introduced a new sort of sensation or feeling, seeing everything written, and has it kind of done something like that for both of you? Like you lived it, and now you're sort of seeing it, and does that?
No, for me, it's a proud moment because I am not the one who has written it. Pooja is the one. And one thing I haven't mentioned yet is that when I'm successful, no, most of the times people say Cheteshwar is successful, but it's not me. It is the support system. It is my wife, my father, my mother when she was alive, my in-laws, my friends, my family members. So when you are successful, there are so many people who help you out to be successful, to have guided you throughout your journey, and there are so many people who are mentioned in the book who has helped me when I was young, who has helped me at different stages of my career. So it is not my success; it is the entire families and the people who have helped me. It's their success, and which are sometimes those successes are not mentioned and not appreciated. But now, since it's out there in the book, yeah, she has done a good job, and I feel proud about it. And it's a unique thing. I mean, not
Yeah, it
many
is.
sports persons'
None.
spouse would have written a book about their journey. So yeah, she has done
And
a
get
good
the
job.
cricket backs and get everything right to the team.
Yeah. So for me, it's not been like very sensational in the sense. For me, yeah, I have kind of
Like you know how when you relive certain moments, something
Yeah.
else sort of you feel
Yes.
something else.
Yeah, so I did end up feeling a lot of it while I was writing.
Yeah.
Now that it's out, I just feel that, anybody, forget being a cricket fan or not a cricket fan, I just feel so many people can pick up the book and kind of relate to different, different aspects, be it a male, female, child, adult, anyone, right? They can relate to it and maybe try and even if you have two takeaways from the book, I would be like, for me that would be a very very big compliment. So and that's the thing, like while everyone has does not have a public career and like the fame and everything that comes along with the sport, but you do go through the same emotions, and how you ride on those emotions and how you kind of uh, learn from that and grow from that is something that is a key takeaway in all of this. And for me, if even if like five people can be inspired and make their life better, it will be a great deal.
Yes, and obviously this is just hoping that I see you guys soon. You on the cricket field as well soon, pretty
Yeah,
soon, Cheteshwar,
yeah.
not just behind the mic. But yes, wishing both of you all the best. Yeah, it's always fun catching up with you and wishing both of you all the success.
Thank you. Thanks a
Thanks.
lot.
Rupha. Thanks.